Hi guys, so today I'm going to be talking about the movie The Fault in Our Stars that just came out 2 days ago, and I would have filmed this earlier but I was still in like a very emotional state, so I decided to wait a little bit before I filmed this video. So I'm just going to be discussing and reviewing the movie, and I'm wearing my Tifios t-shirt that I got from Barnes & Noble, and yeah, I'm kind of obsessed with it. It's a mild obsession. And if my voice sounds weird, it's because I've been having a cough for like a week now, so my voice is kind of like a little like scratchy, so I don't know if you can even hear it in my voice, but I can hear it like in my head. I sound different. So let's just get into the review. So unfortunately I saw Tifios at like a really crappy movie theater. It literally smelled like a thrift store inside of the like movie theater where the screen is, and the screen was like, I could have had YouTube on the smallest setting and it would have been bigger than that. Like, it was horrible in there. We've never been, maybe my mom have never been to that movie theater that we went to, and it was just horrible. So I'm hoping to see it in like IMAX, if they even have it in IMAX, because I really want to see it like super big. That would be awesome. And I've only ever seen one IMAX movie and it was awesome, so that would be really cool, because I'm definitely going to see it again. I'm going to see it multiple times. So let's talk about the actors. Shailene and Ansel were just the perfect Hazel and Gus, especially Ansel. He like really portrayed Augustus perfectly, and his acting was on point. Like, even like in the car scene, his acting and like the emotion in that scene was amazing. Like in this movie, I was bawling like 75% of the time, like ugly crying, not just like a little tear streaming down my face. Like, oh, it was bad. I had like my hand like this and my hair was covering my face the entire time because I was just ugly crying and I didn't want anyone to see me. And I was like laughing, crying at sometimes because there were so many people bawling in the one movie theater. It's just so funny. And there were literally like 3 guys in a room full of girls watching the movie, and it was just funny. So after like a half an hour of commercials, the movie finally started, and I started crying when it started because I've been waiting for this movie for over half a year since I read the book back in like November or October 2013, or 2013, and just like being able to see my favorite book come to life, it's just really emotional for me, because this movie was like an emotional roller coaster that only went up. Tifios reference. And yeah, it was just so perfect, and I just have so many things to say. So in the beginning of the movie, they bump into each other. Gus and Hazel bump into each other, and that's not how it happened in the book, but I'm fine with them changing it. Like, that's like just started their chemistry, and then Gus goes up to the door, he's just like, yeah, that's a door, and it was just perfect. And then when Gus is staring at Hazel, he's just like, and then Hazel is just like, why is this guy looking at me? Oh my gosh, the metaphor scene. It's like a metaphor. I just love how Ansel did that, just like a metaphor. Oh my gosh, it was so perfect. And I've seen a lot of book to movie adaptations go very wrong. The Royal Instruments, Divergent. But this was a book to movie adaptation gone right. It was just so true, like so incredibly true to the book. Like, I felt like I was watching the book like literally come to life, because everything happened in like the same time that happened in the book. The beginning line of Tifios was the beginning line in the movie, and it was just so incredibly true to the book that also made me cry. Like, I was crying so much. I was so emotional. The scene where Gus takes Hazel to the Funky Bones for the picnic. Oh my gosh, that entire scene was perfection. Like, the sandwiches were on point. Gus's outfit was on point, like he was wearing the Rick Smith's jersey, and it was just perfect. How many times can I say how perfect this movie is? I will keep saying it. So then on the plane to Amsterdam, Gus is all excited about being on a plane, and then she kisses him on the cheek. So cute. And they get to Amsterdam, and everything about Amsterdam was so perfect. And their dinner, when Gus tells Hazel how he feels about her, I was crying. And the champagne, you're tasting the stars. Oh, it was so perfect. The next day, they go to see Peter Van Houten, and I was expecting Peter Van Houten to have a potbelly, and he didn't have a potbelly, so that was a little disappointing. And also, I was expecting Peter Van Houten to be a lot more mean. Like, that's how I pictured him in my head, this mean fat guy. And he wasn't as mean as I thought he was going to be. So that was a little disappointing, but he was still mean. And Hazel Shay was just perfect in that scene. And Ansel, they were both perfect in that scene. And Littlewidge takes them to the Anne Frank house. And they kiss. It was so cute. All the people are clapping, and it was just so much like the book. Like, that was exactly how I imagined it, and it was just so incredibly done. I was just like ecstatic. And when they're sitting on the bench and Gus tells Hazel about how he lit up like a Christmas tree, he has cancer everywhere, and I just started bawling. That was when I started like really ugly crying, and because I knew what was coming. I knew what was going to happen. And then they get back home, they're with Isaac, and they egg Monica's car. And that entire scene was probably my favorite scene in the entire movie. I just loved how it was done. It was so much like the book. It was just perfect. And Gus's speech was on point. Like, I loved it. And then the scene where Gus calls Hazel and he's in the car and he's throwing up all over himself. That part was so incredibly true to the book and well done. And I was just crying so much at that part. Like, I kind of forget what the scene looked like because my eyes were so filled with tears that I couldn't even see. Scene where Hazel takes Gus back to the Funky Bones, and Gus is in the wheelchair. That just kills me because, you know, Gus is this perfect fun guy, and you can't imagine him, you know, like in pain. You can't imagine him like that, and then there he is like that. It just makes you really emotional. At least it made me really emotional, and my heart just broke into a million pieces because of this movie. And then the pre-funeral scene was just so perfect. Hazel and Isaac's eulogy, I was dying of tears, like dying of feels, and it was just so many feels at that time. I was just overwhelmed, and it was perfect. And then the scene where she got the phone call and Gus is dead, and oh my gosh, everyone was bawling in the theater. There was not one dry eye in the movie theater, and it just killed me. Gus's funeral, and Peter Van Houten comes back. I hate Van Houten with a burning passion, that little idiot. And then it ended with Van Houten giving Hazel that letter from Gus. And it didn't end with I do, Augustus, I do. It ended with okay. And that was the only thing that I was a little disappointed in. That Gus's letter didn't say, I hope she likes her choices, I know I like mine. And then she doesn't say, I do, Augustus, I do. She says, okay, okay. And that part was a little disappointing for me, but, you know, I got over it really fast because the entire movie was just perfection. And I'm definitely going to see this movie again, like at least like 2 more times. And I'm going to buy the movie when it comes out on DVD. The movie overall was just perfection. I just loved every single bit of it. It was perfect, and I'm definitely going to see it again. And yeah, that is all I have to say. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, and if you want to see more booktube type videos or like movie reviews, stuff like that, you can just subscribe to my channel, and all of my social media links will be in the doobly-doo, and I'll talk to you guys in my next one. Bye!